Here, Sam, my cameraman, is standing next to the Phoxx 1v2, and as you can see, it is a very, very stealthy and low profile tent. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be having a look at the OEX Phoxx 1v2 tent. Let's get straight into it. Now, this is the Phoxx 1v2, and as you already know, it's a one-man tent, and this is the version 2 tent of the Phoxx 1. This is how the tent comes in a small carry bag. This is waterproof, by the way. The packed down tent size is 31 centimeters length by 14 by 14 centimeters. The weight of this is only 1.6 kilograms, so it's a fairly lightweight tent. It has got 4 little nylon straps, so you can attach it to the bottom of your backpack. So the tent itself opens up in the typical dry bag fashion. Undo the 2 clips here, unroll it, and inside, let's get the tent out. Now, inside the bag we do have the pitching instructions here. It's fairly simple, you shouldn't really need them. So it is worth noting that the Phoxx 1v2 is an inner pitch tent, just like the first version of the tent. So unlike tents such as the Van Gogh Cairngorm 200, which is an outer pitch tent, this tent is a little bit more tricky to pitch when it is raining. So inside the package you have your alloy tent poles, tent pegs, inner sheet and outer fly sheet here. These are the tent poles that come with the tent. They're aluminium alloy. They seem to be quite well made. I haven't found any issues with them. Bear in mind though that I haven't really used this tent very much yet. When I did open these up for the first time, I did find that the bottom of the tent poles do have these little notches that fit into the tent fly sheet. However, I did notice that strangely they are threaded and the inside of the tent pole is also threaded. However, the threads don't actually engage at all. They just pull in and pull out, which is a little bit of a concern on the quality side of things, but it shouldn't really affect the operation of the tent. With the Phoxx 1v2 you do also get quite a few aluminium tent pegs. Now these are the thick kind, not the sort of the cheap flimsy kind, so they are quite good. Here you have your outer fly sheet, 5000mm hydrostatic head, which for a tent that costs around 50 quid is quite good. So apart from that, I don't think that there's much more to say about what comes in the kit, so let's get straight into pitching it. Now the tent itself is really easy to pitch up. If you look at where you can buy this tent online, they do state a 5-minute pitch time, which I think is pretty accurate. Even if you just have got the tent, it is extremely simple to pitch up. So we've now got the 2 tent poles in place, here and up there. Now we're going to start to peg the tent out. So for this demonstration I probably won't use all the tent pegs because it's not absolutely essential. However, there's 2 at the end. I've got the other end. There are 2 more. When I got the tent I was quite impressed with the quality of it. However, on closer inspection, the first tent that I did receive did have a little bit of loose stitching here. Now this is just the sleeve that the tent pole fits into, and the first tent I had, there was quite a bit of tension on the tent sleeve, especially on these corners here. And what I found was that the stitching here was coming apart a bit, so the sleeve was starting to come apart from the main tent, which was a bit of a concern. And in the end I did actually end up sending that tent back and getting this one. But fortunately this tent doesn't have any defects that the other one did have. So just a little caution, if you do get this tent, just give it a good check over before you do start taking it out into the field. So while we haven't got the outer fly sheet on the tent, it gives us a good opportunity to have a look at the inner sheet of the tent. The length is very roughly 260 or 265 centimetres. The width at its widest point is around 85 centimetres, and the width at the foot end is very roughly 55 to 60 centimetres. The maximum height at the foot end is around 35 centimetres, and the height at the tallest point at the head end is very roughly 75 centimetres. Now at the end we have got a little mesh screen here for ventilation. How good it is with ventilation at the moment, I do not want to comment on that because I haven't used it enough. So as well as the mesh at the foot end, you have also got a nice large mesh area here where your head would be. Here we do have two toggles, one at the top, one at the bottom, and this is just to roll the door up so you can have this entire side of the tent opened up. So it is worth noting that the door on the other side is not an entrance door. This is just a half-length door. It goes up to here. Now the reason for this is that with the fly sheet on, you do get a bit of storage space on the other side, which we will see later. Now, as I said before, the fly sheet is 5,000 hydrostatic head, so it should keep you dry in pretty heavy rain. So you might have noticed on the inner fly sheet there is a little clip here, right at the bottom of where the foot end tent pole slots into. And this is for clipping on the outer fly sheet. That clips in just like that, and you can tension this up just to pull the outer fly sheet down nice and tight. Now at the bottom here you have also got a little flap just where the ventilation is at the feet end. Now, unlike the top of the tent, you haven't got a little strut to hold the flap open. Instead, you just peg these guy lines out. So that's it for the outside of the tent. Let's have a look inside. One nice feature about this tent is you have got a little elastic loop here, just so you can put your walking pole or a stick to hold the door open here. Looking inside the tent, you will notice that it has got quite a nice tall ground sheet on here, sort of like a bathtub style sort of ground sheet, so that is a good 3 or 4 inches off the ground itself. So if you are camping in wet grass, you shouldn't really have to worry about moisture getting inside. Now you can see that it is quite cozy in here, shall we say. Now I am 5'6", 5'7", and this tent for me is a decent little one-man sized tent. I've got about 8 inches at the bottom, and I have got some extra room at the top here just to put a small backpack, for example. My feet at the bottom here, I've got a good 3 inches or so clearance around my toes, which is quite nice. On the other side, this is where the half-length door is. Unzipping this here, you can see that there is a very small amount of storage space. There's probably about a foot of grass there just to put your gear. At the top of the tent you have also got a little plastic loop here for attaching a lantern, for example, and at the bottom you have got a little mesh bag here. You'll also notice that at the seams you have got a little taped seam here. That seems to be stuck down pretty well. I haven't got any concerns with that coming apart or anything. The fly sheet itself is quite a thin fly sheet, but as with many of the lightweight smaller tents, even the Van Gogh Cairngorm, they are a fairly lightweight ground sheet. So you do just have to be a little bit careful of where you pitch this. You don't really want to be pitching on any brambles, for example, or sharp stones. Grass is absolutely perfect, ideal, and you shouldn't really have any worries of getting any punctures. As for the height of the tent inside, me being 5'6", 5'7"-ish, I can't really sit up. I can sort of stay up like this, but as for sitting up cross-legged or anything, you're not really going to be able to do that. Now Sam, he's 6 foot, 6'1"-ish, and really I think that is the maximum sort of height where you could easily or comfortably sleep inside this tent. Anything above 6 foot, I would probably go with a different tent. So there you have it guys, the OEX Phoxx 1v2 tent. Very quick overview. Of course we will hopefully get this out in the field at some point and have a few nights camping in it. If you liked the video or found it useful in any way, please like the video and subscribe. Let's try and get to 500 subscribers this year, and see you in another video.